This is the Piston Jolt cannon. Now this cannon itself harnesses the power of pistons to launch projectiles at a speed above the speed limit of the game, and I'll show you exactly how this works now. After that we'll do some target testing and I'll show you just how lethal this can be. So by firing that up you can see the pistons are retracted and it was so fast it's just a blip in the distance. So let's give it another press, see what's happening. You see how the pistons are being launched and there goes another projectile at lightning speed. This time, let's watch the projectile. So we're watching the projectile launch and there we go. Just how fast is that? That's incredible. So this is actually really quite devastating, and the creator of this, who created this over 2 years ago, this is one of them weapons that's kind of got forgotten a little bit, and it's not super functional, but at the same time it is very deadly, and it's another weapon that has a high chance of getting you banned off a server for exploits. And it all kind of works within the pistons themselves. So the pistons, you can kind of break the rules of physics and stretch them out, and when you stretch a piston out it holds its sort of inertia, so when you release it all at once into an object like this warhead, it sends it at a massive speed. So let's do that again. So you can see it's stretching it out, converting that over to there, and it is gone. Now this could be used in so many other ways than just a weapon. This could be a way of launching your ship into orbit if you wanted to, a small ship if you wanted. You could launch the character, you could launch artillery. The uses for this are really quite endless, but since it exploits the physics of space engineers, it's one of them quite debatable weapons. So let's get this thing pointed up and aimed at our first target. And due to the velocity, you're going to realize just how deadly this thing can be. So we've got ourselves one pointed up at the Star Trek vessel that we've been looking at in our previous combat test videos. We're going to prep that up, and here we go. Whoa, big damage. Look at that. So it's about the same sort of damage as a traditional warhead, if not a little bit more. I'd say it's a little bit more because for some reason when it impacts at this velocity, the damage registers a little bit later on, so the warhead detonates further on in the inside. And what's really incredible about this is if we just pick another one of these up and move it around, of course it's got to be on a static grid at the moment. You can convert it to a ship, but the ship has got to have some serious gyroscopic control to override the force of them pistons, otherwise your ship will just start spinning. So here's another one launched. That was right into the bridge control room. Oh, that is going to be a nasty mess inside there. Yeah, the small ship bridge has been turned to dust. Let's launch another one at it. Grab ourselves back to the controls. We'll fire ourselves another one into that area. Of course, because of this sort of weapon, it lends itself to... Oh, look at that go. Let's launch another one quickly. It's reloading really quick. More damage to it. We have ripped the whole side off that ship. Let's load up some more ships and have a look at them. Of course, there is some limitations with this weapon, but you can see just how deadly it could be. So now we have the Planet Cracker in front of us. This was another good test bed. This one's actually got a hollowed out interior, but it's a very large ship. And since it's such a large ship, I've actually added 5 of these machines here. 5? No, 6, sorry, Aaron can't count. So there's 6 of these machines here, and we're going to let them rip. So hopefully I've wired them all up to one button. Let's see if that's the case. Okay, no, we've only wired up one at a time. But with that, we can do some quick little volleys. Let's go a little bit of a volley there as well. See where that one goes. Look at that. It makes like a little popping sound as well when it launches that I really like the sound of. And then we've got another one going off in that direction as well. Very powerful, very accurate, massive amounts of debris coming from over there. Let's wire these all up together because that's what we want to see, isn't it? So after a little bit of wiring up, we've now got them all wired up, hopefully to fire at the same time. So let's see what sort of damage they can all do at once. Oh, there's something about destruction in Space Engineers that never gets old, is there? Let's fire another one. Let's get a little bit closer for this one. Oh, some massive amounts of destruction. Since they're traveling so fast, they're just able to rip right through and cut through that ship within seconds. Oh, that's a massive piece ripping out there. There's a loading bay up in that section. Let's see if we can re-aim this cannon. We're going to have to re-aim it the old-fashioned way and actually move it since it's a static grid. Let's see if we can just wiggle it a little bit about there. That should do. We'll get another shot off at it. Get ourselves in a position where we can see it coming in. Oh, look at that. Oh, and out the other side as well. All these blocks here are starting to fold down and break off. That's the thing with Space Engineers. As soon as you start to push it past the limits that it likes, such as the speed, it just can't calculate fast enough. So the damage always seems to multiply even quicker. So we've got more coming in. Oh, yes. Destruction. These weird Clang weapons, or, you know, just strange weapons, are so fascinating. What could we do, though, to turn this into something that's more functional? That's what's trying to get me to think. Something that's a little less cheesy on terms of ripping off Clang. You'll have to let me know in the comment section if you think this is an exploit or if this is a legitimate weapon as well. Well, let's move on. Let's rip another ship apart because there's not much left of this one. Now, just before we go down to the planet and perhaps have a look at some other solutions for using this sort of Clang weapon or Jolt cannon, I wanted to shoot a small grid, large grid hybrid. So we've got the lovely Corvo out on display here again. And we're really out of aim, actually. We're never going to hit that if we fire this now. We're going to have to bring these a little bit lower down. We're also going to have a bit of a play at trying to mount this to a ship at some point as well. So let's try that there. And if we're correct, this is the button that Aaron has wired up to everything. So there we go. Let's see if we can get this fired at the Corvo. Oh, disintegrated, ripped in two. This is so much more damage than that railgun could ever possibly do, and it's more damage than the warhead. It's just a big wonder of why the combination of exceeding the speed limit, the warhead, and everything involved. Is it because that warhead is going deeper in because it's not calculating its position and then exploding, or is it trying to kind of like backwards work out the damage path and it's creating more damage? Something definitely very interesting is happening here with these explosions. Massive results from a single volley. I'm sure even a singular cannon round here would do some serious damage to that as well. Let's continue on. So this might look very stupid. This is just a test bed. We've just stuck it onto one of the INIC testing ships that we've got here. We've got the Wanderer over there, and I wanted to see what would happen when it's not a static grid, because I know there's a lot of forces at play here. So let's press 1 here. Okay. Oh, so having some gyroscopes and having some things on it will allow me to use this as a ship weapon. Let's just check that out there. We've not got the right sort of thrusters on, so ignore that at the minute, because we're going to take this down to the planet, see if we can launch it somewhere else. But let's just see if we can... It works! We're not recoiling all over the place! Oh, look at that damage, though. Yeah, this is a quick way of getting outlawed on your server, isn't it? Oh, the weapon, how did this get forgotten after all this time? It's launching it into another bloody solar system. Let's have a look at, have a quick shot at that. So we've not got the right thrust, like I warned you, but we'll try and fire another one over at that cruiser. So the velocity's so high. Oh, that was a cracking shot. Where have we gone here? What are we looking at? Been a bit too excited. So did we not hit that cruiser? No, we shot at a cruiser in the distance, didn't we? The velocity of when this thing hits, though. So we've got a T-800 cruiser. Let's try and land another shot on that one. And that should do it. And since the velocity is so high, we don't have to leave the target much. That really helps. Oh, gutted. Absolutely gutted. The larger grid did stand up a little bit better, but it's still ripped down to where the cockpit was down there. Let's go and take this planet side and see if we can cause some more damage with it down there and see what forces happen to us. So now we're down planet side, and the grid is actually tipping a bit here, so we're going to have to quickly get ourselves inside and get some sort of control over it before we crash into the ground. But the plan here is with this, we've got this base, and this base currently doesn't have any antennas on it. But an advantage of having a weapon like this would be for long-range bombardments, well out the range of the railgun. So let's get ourselves aimed up at that factory. There's going to be some drop, because of course there is. But let's prime this up and see what happens. Alright, so it is cruising towards the target. A little bit low, but we can stay completely out of that weapon's range. Let's aim a little bit higher. Like so. You can see that round coming in. There we go. Being lobbed over. High velocity. Oh, right on the top of the place. Nice big hole in the roof there. Let's aim ourselves a little bit lower. Of course, it does need a camera on and some other things sorting it out. Let's aim about there. That should be perfect. That should be coming straight in towards the outpost. Oh, big hits. That is awesome. What we need to do as well is put a stack of armor in a row and try and capture its penetration sort of effects and how it's managing to destroy so many blocks at once. It'd be good to see, but this is something that you could do. You could technically, even if you wanted to with a weapon like this, bombard a base or an outpost from orbit. So let's fire another one of them again. And that is going straight over. In it goes. Oh, that one's a little bit too high. But you can see with the speed of these are going to be really hard to intercept. I'll drop another one there. And that one is coming in hot. Oh, right into that tower there. And that tower is out of action, not going to be doing any turrets. But yeah, you could use this from orbit to bombard a place from above. A real cool way of extending the range of a weapon. And that velocity, yeah, it could be considered a bit cheatsy doodling, but it's a nice, cool weapon to see. Right, so we're down on the planet, and I want to do a little bit more testing. I've got this staggered armoured wall here. It's only light armour. And we've got ourselves a railgun, of course, at first. So let's give it a little bit of a test, see what the railgun can do. So the railgun is now firing away. And you can see the railgun cut clean through all of these layers of light armour. And that's why we're going to have another look at the railgun again in the future and talk about how we can optimize it. So it is very, very dangerous. It's a beautiful little hole it cuts as well. But on the other hand, we do have this Clang cannon, or the Jolt cannon here. Let's see if it works in this situation. So we're going to hit the button. We're going to hope for the best. And let's have a look at what sort of penetration that we got here. So we got almost, well, we got almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of armor with the front layers of armor completely destroyed. So even though that the block blows up at this stage, it's not detecting it and it's cutting a clean hole. That's why we've seen so much damage. What's interesting here is the railgun hole's right there, that small one. And this is the one from that warhead. Yeah, it's a really powerful weapon, this. But it didn't penetrate as far through, as you can see what's happened here. So it's as soon as the game starts to update, I think, and works out where that block actually is, because it's breaking the speed limit, as it goes, hang on, it can't do any more damage, it's already been destroyed over there, and then it stops. But let's have another little look at them. Let's fire another one of these Jolt cannon rounds. This time we're expecting it to go further in. This one has gone a little bit higher up. It's completely cheese grated the top there and pushed a little bit more damage through this up area. So the damage does seem to be a little bit random, and I guess that's because the game is catching up at different speeds to try and update where them blocks actually are, where the railgun will always consistently go through them blocks. Let's have another shot of that railgun. I know it's probably going to go through the exact same hole, but we may as well give it a go, mightn't we? Yeah, lovely. So that's what I wanted to test today. I wanted to test out this Jolt cannon. Even though it's 2 years old, it's still extremely deadly. But I do warn you, this can cause some serious issues to your ships, and it does have a tendency to snapping itself off and blowing your own ship up from inside out. And anyone who's messed with Clang type weaponry, in this case using the tension of them pistons, it's a sort of dangerous way of going, because it can go wrong at any moment. And especially server providers or people that are hosting servers will not like seeing this thing on their servers. Anyway, let me know what you think of this in the comment section of this video, and hopefully I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this though, hit that like button and it would really help a lot. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.